Kumo DTV, man, back with another one. Right now, we're gonna get into the Syrian army and the SDF clashes. Now, I did a video the other day about them being in talks, or they were supposed to be in talks, and there was tension rising. But that same night, or maybe the next day, they started actually fighting each other. They started exchanging gunfire, missile fire, rocket fire. You know, they have been...
Intense fighting between the...
My bad. They have been pretty active on the ground. So we're going to go through some of this reporting from Al Jazeera and then head over to Telegram and see what's really going on the ground in Syria.
Intense fighting between the Syrian army and Kurdish-led forces in the city of Aleppo has forced tens of thousands of people to flee. Two densely populated Kurdish neighborhoods are at the heart of the violence. The escalation comes after the Syrian government held talks in Damascus with an SDF delegation about integrating fighters into the national army. Rasul Sardar reports from Aleppo.
And if you remember, like I said, it's very unlikely that will happen. They have zero incentive to do that, and that's what many of the other people in the last video were saying that we reacted to. You know, they were saying they have no incentive to, but these people were being, I don't know, super optimistic for some reason, saying they don't have any incentive to integrate, but you know, it will be the best for the people and it will be the best for this and the best for that. Like, no, bro, it wouldn't be the best for the Kurdish people. It wouldn't be the best for them. So why would they integrate when they have no incentive to? They control the oil fields in Syria. They have a large land mass in Syria. The Kurdish people and what is basically known as Kurdistan spreads through many different countries, and there's many different groups and many different people that are, you know, involved in a part of Kurdistan. There's no reason to integrate into the Syrian army or be a part of anything Syrian. You know, they are Kurdish, and they're having their way right now. I don't know what it's looking like militarily. I don't know what it's looking like when it comes to the conflict, who's superior, who's not. We can maybe get into that later on in a different video, but they're having their way when it comes to controlling that area and having the oil fields, which is dollar signs.
Aleppo has endured years of war, but for residents of the city's Kurdish majority districts, the sound of gunfire is once again shaping daily life. Since Tuesday, fighting has intensified around the neighborhoods of Sheikh Mahsoud and Ashrafiyah, areas long controlled by the Kurdish-led Syrian Democratic Forces. The clashes have pushed thousands of families to flee on foot, carrying what they can, unsure when or if they will return.
We have been suffering for 14 years. I wish God would take our souls so we can rest in peace.
Government forces say they are reasserting control and accuse the SDF of operating outside state authority despite agreeing to merge with the government last March. The SDF, meanwhile, says it is defending areas it has administered for years, warning against what it calls forced reintegration without political guarantees. That political deadlock is now playing out on Aleppo's streets. On Wednesday, the government announced that any SDF element in Ashrafiyah and Sheikh Mahsoud is a legitimate military target and urged residents to distance themselves from the SDF and move to safe areas.
We want this conflict to end. Let there be pain one time, not constantly. There is shelling from both sides. We hide in a safe house, and when the sun rises, we have to leave.
Aid workers warn that renewed displacement inside Aleppo could strain already fragile services in a city still struggling to recover from years of destruction. For civilians here, the message is painfully familiar. Peace in Syria remains fragile and far from guaranteed. Aleppo has seen some of the worst fighting of Syria's war. And once again, civilians are paying the price. What's unfolding here is not just a local security incident. It reflects a deeper struggle over control, the legacy of civil war, and the unresolved political future of post-war Syria. Resul Serdar, Al Jazeera, Aleppo.
This will not be such a problem if some world powers stepped in and recognized Kurdistan for what it is. They think that they can just get all the Kurds to just give up on everything they've worked for. They worked very hard to establish these borders and establish these territories, and they're not just gonna give it up willingly. Like, what would they just be fighting for generations for nothing, for no reason, just cause? No. They're literally fighting for their independence still right now. They control a large area in the Middle East that's big enough to be a country, and nothing from no one. And the United States military has considered them an ally on numerous occasions. They helped us fight the war on terror, and yeah, nothing for them. They control area larger than Lebanon, larger than Israel and Palestine. I believe it's larger than Jordan. I think it might even be larger than Syria.
Al Jazeera's Resul Serdar joins us now live from inside Aleppo. It's mid-morning where you are, just past 10 a.m. And those two Kurdish majority neighborhoods that you referenced in your reporting, they're still considered closed-off military zones by the government. What's happening now?
Indeed. Cyril, it was quite a tense night in Aleppo. Constantly, we have heard the shellings, artillery shellings, rocket firing, machinery guns, and it is still continuing up until this moment. Just a couple of minutes ago, there is a Shihan roundabout behind me, roughly 5 meters away, and the SDF has shelled that roundabout. So right behind Al-Rahman Mosque that you can see there. So the heavy fighting, fierce clashes are constantly continuing here. And the government has just announced that today also there will be humanitarian corridors open for civilians to flee, to evacuate that two neighborhoods. That is important because yesterday we have seen tens of thousands of people leaving these two districts, Ashrafiyya and Sheikh Maqsood, and going to the safe areas. But on the other hand, we know that there are still tens of thousands more that are trapped there. The government is saying that the SDF is planting some explosives and also blocking civilians from leaving that areas. We do not know when that humanitarian corridors are going to come into an effect. And
why is this like always the thing they say about like the opposition group? They're like, oh, whoever has control at the time, they're always like, yeah, they're preventing the people from leaving. Like, this looks like a free flow of people to me. It looks like the people are willingly leaving with no issue and no hassle. Matter of fact, you're on the ground with cameras. Can you get that on camera? Can you film that? Didn't think so.
And while that is happening, how they're going to manage the curfew, because there is a curfew practically still in place. But here, so the government is asking civilians to leave. And these are concerning because once more and more civilians living there, once it's not a residential area anymore, it's going to be just a military site, seeing even fiercer clashes between the government forces and the SDF.
But Rasul, the civilians who are leaving those areas, we're talking about tens of thousands of people, and you just said you're expecting more to leave today. Where did they go? Where are they going? What are they telling you?
Imagine being able to build anything just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
There's a big question here, and it's a huge concern because just this country's infrastructure, indeed, according to the United Nations, 65% of this country's infrastructure has been destroyed by the civil war that lasted for 14 years. And Aleppo was one of the epicenters of the fighting, the devastation around the neighborhoods of Aleppo. So there has been shooting at where we are. So Aleppo has been an epicenter, one of the epicenters of the fighting here, and several areas, districts in Aleppo has been devastated.
Rasul, look, I think we heard gunfire. Let me jump in here for a second for your own safety, Rasul. I think we heard gunfire. Do you need to take cover at this point?
Was that gunfire? Because I don't see any panic. I don't see anybody moving different. I don't see the officials moving different. I heard somebody start blowing a whistle. Like, and maybe it was just a car backfiring or something. I don't know. But, I mean, and isn't these conflicts are deeper than just the SDF and the army. Like, I mean, you literally just had someone who was literally labeled as a, literally had someone that is labeled as a terrorist and his group is labeled as a terrorist organization take over Syria, and now we're removing his terrorist status and having him meet with officials in our country and acknowledging this, like, and I mean, we helped him take over Syria. Like, we literally propped him up, which is ridiculous and crazy. I don't get this. Well, I do get it, but to go deeper would sidetrack from this video and might not be that all YouTube safe.
Yeah, I think we can manage it for now. So the main concern is that the infrastructure of this city is definitely not sufficient to host, to shelter tens of thousands of civilians here. And when we're talking to civilians where they are going to go, to be honest, they do not have a clear answer. Despite the government saying that they are going to provide the shelters, they do not know where are their shelters because it's an exodus of people. Some of them are saying that they are going to move to the northern of the country, the town of Afrin, or some other Kurdish-controlled areas in Qamishli. However, there are also expectations that the fighting could spread over that areas as well. And now we know that several dozens of NGOs, including the civil workers here, are really trying to find an answer for that. Now they are being mobilized, but it seems that at least for a couple of days, maybe weeks, that is going to be one of the main humanitarian issues and crises that needs to be properly addressed here.
Rasul, I will let you take cover with your team. You find out what's going on there. We'll talk to you when you are able to do so safely. And I will bring this to our viewers that we're just getting the information from the governorate of Aleppo, and we just heard gunfire again. We'll check in on our teams in a moment. The information is this, that the evacuation process for those civilians to leave those two areas, Kurdish majority areas in Aleppo, or to leave any areas that are might be subject to violence. The evacuation process will last 3 hours, and that 3-hour window has already opened. It is from 7 GMT to 10 GMT. It is now 7:21 GMT, so we're 20 minutes into it. Residents have another 2.5 hours to leave areas that the government considers legitimate military targets. This is in Syria's largest city of Aleppo.
Don't miss out. Get the full picture. Subscribe to our...
Okay. Another Al Jazeera. Mahsoud. What is this? Heavy fighting in Aleppo. That was Minnesota.
Heavy gunfire and artillery strikes light up the night sky in Aleppo. This is what political deadlock looks like. Failed talks on integrating the Kurdish-led Syrian Democratic Forces into the national army have led to days of fierce fighting. On Thursday, the Syrian army attempted several times to take control of central areas in the Sheikh Mahsoud and Ashrafiyah districts, but faced heavy resistance from the SDF. Late at night, government forces advanced into the inner parts of Al-Ashrafiyah. Now, the army says it will shift its focus to Sheikh Mahsoud. Civilians are caught in the constant shelling. At Razi Hospital, medical teams are overstretched, rushing to treat waves of wounded patients. The facility itself is also caught in the crossfire. SDF mortar fire struck the hospital grounds earlier in the day.
There are military personnel inside, and now another shelling at the backyard. So as there are military personnel here, this is a civilian that is injured and has just arrived here. Now it has been the 8th one in 20 minutes.
I mean, it honestly doesn't make sense. Like, I'm not really a person that believes everything, you know, so I need proof, because why would the SDF, which is a Kurdish-led force, be attacking the Kurdish people? That doesn't make sense at all. Or they're claiming it's them getting caught in a crossfire. What makes you so sure that it's the SDF, or it's only the SDF whose fire they're getting caught in? Like, that doesn't really make sense, you know. Like, they're the same. They're both Kurdish, and they're fighting from within this area and shooting outwards. So why would, like, what? That isn't, like, he just said, shell hit this building and it just landed in the backyard. Like, why would they be firing towards that direction if their own people are going there for medical attention and they're fighting a threat that's approaching them? That's something that's inside the city already.
Minutes, and the medical personnel here is quite struggling because the number of injured people that are arriving, some of them very much in critical conditions. This is a hospital, but definitely not safe. It's extremely difficult for the government forces to take the situation under control.
Earlier on Thursday, thousands fled the city in search of safety. The newly formed Syrian army wants to consolidate power and is demanding that the SDF integrate into its ranks. But the SDF rejects what it calls forced integration without political guarantees. With talks stalled and fighting ongoing, there are no clear signs of de-escalation. For now, civilians in Sheikh Mahsoud and Ashrafiyah remain trapped between political impasse and active front lines.
Yeah, like, bro, the Kurds want their land, and they want their forces. They want them to integrate and disband, but the Kurds don't want to disband or integrate, and they don't trust the Syrian government. They just don't. They're not giving them a reason to trust them. It's just, you know, it's a risk for them. It's a huge risk for them, and they have, or it seems like they have the advantage. Go on Telegram right now. Oh my God. I press translate, it's not translating. I really would like to know what this says. Okay. Translator is not working, but as you can see right here, this is a whole lot of bodies. I have no idea which side this is from or what the fuck is going on and where, but that is a lot of bodies. It's blurred out, so that is definitely safe for YouTube. Oh, since none of this is translated, let's just go over here, go to the media. Yeah, so they're even active out there in Syria. God damn, the building looks terrible. That building looks so bad. I think this one has blood. No. Can't play that, I don't think. This is the same building again. Yeah, they're fucking that building up. Don't know which side it is. I don't know why the translator isn't working. Okay, what the hell? Some dude is like attacking a woman in the shop, not like beating her or anything. He's like aggressively yoking her up. Tanks in the streets. This lady just signed. The hell? Okay, I guess you can see in the distance they're just firing off shots. I think this was on the Al Jazeera clip. is the second video that is literally just a flag. So I know this is not the best quality or whatever, but this is what's going on the ground in Syria. A lot of heavy artillery being fired, man. You see me about a bunch of tanks out. They got huge guns. I believe there's some rockets being fired eventually. I don't know about these clips. Yeah, see, this is just a minute long of the exact same thing. Just shots after shots after shots. YouTube, please don't flag me. This is for journalistic purposes, and this is the official recognized government of Syria that our United States government recognizes. You know, this is a U.S. company, and I'm in the U.S., and we just had their leader here not too long ago, so I would very much appreciate it if my video doesn't get flagged or something like that for showing what's going on in another country. Okay, they're not really showing too much. That was the beginning, in case it was missed. Oh yeah, we cannot show that. That was a body. Drone. Some more tanks riding through the streets. Oh, I cannot play this. I don't know what he's saying. Oh my God, this is such bad quality. It's terrible quality, but as you can see and hear, it is hectic in Syria right now. I saw this video already. Oh wow, this was just on Al Jazeera. You just seeing this area on Al Jazeera, bro. It was just there. It's on fire. It probably got bombed. This is a clip from Al Jazeera. We just saw that one. I can't show these, man. Not playing, man. They want that integration real bad. They definitely want that integration. They're not playing. Oh, this is the exact same video.
بيت منو انت؟ لا من داخل الشيخ مقصود.
What? Fireworks? Why are people setting off fireworks, bro? And just so you think I'm not tripping, like, I kid you not, these are fireworks. I don't know if this is a video from New Year's or something, like, but those are fireworks. What is going on? And these are the most recent videos posted on this page. This is my Syrian page on Telegram. Let me see what these other Middle Eastern telegrams have about Syria. Syria. Is this another Syrian page I have? Bro, this one didn't translate to English either. Like, what's going on? Telegram, what's going on, man? Why is my stuff not getting translated to English? I cannot read Arabic. Okay, yeah, but this is Syria as well. Yeah, so there. Okay, I don't know why that was blurred out. Okay, yeah, a bunch of. Okay, this is not what I'm looking for. Syria. Okay, that does not look good optically. It says an armed group affiliated with the Arab tribes in the city of Raqqa joins the general mobilization to support the Sheikh Massoud neighborhood and fight against al-Jalani's gangs and the Turkish occupation. But I mean, the way they're dressed and the way this looks, they are 1000% going to be considered terrorists. Even though, I mean, Hey, they're not okay with the terrorists taking over control of their government, even though we are. Okay, yeah, it's looking like all these other channels have the same things. Oh wow, look at this. Israeli flag raised over land in Syria. So Israel is definitely taking advantage of this situation. Taking land, even though they're part of the reason why Jelani's in power, they are still, taking action against them for their own pleasure, I guess. I mean, I don't know, for their own strategy. Yeah, there's not really any other videos that I could show on YouTube. So this is gonna be it for this one, man. Kumo DTV everywhere. Go follow KumoCast on YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe, share the video, go comment. I'm out of here.